Hey everyone, Rob the Backyard Gardener here. I've got a kind of a different video today. I've got a couple of projects to do. I actually have 4 San Marzano tomatoes I got to get into the ground from the greenhouse, and I actually had quite a bit of leftover wood from my last 2 raised bed projects. So I built a small raised bed, which I'll show you here in a second. And I'm going to take my homemade compost. It's not quite finished breaking down, but I got to do it and put it in the raised beds. It might fill it up, might not. I'm going to take the tomato weeds and repot those because might as well give them a chance to give me some tomatoes. And hopefully by the end I'll have a raised bed full of compost with my 4 San Marzano tomatoes in there and ready for them to start producing. Let's get started.
So you recall a few videos ago I made my raised bed garden back here. Since this side of the yard I never had done anything with at all. And I had some leftover wood, so I went ahead and used all the wood that I had left to make this little mini raised bed. Now typically I would like it to be a little deeper, but you know what? It's the wood I had available, and these can slide out like I've always done, so I can always make it wider if I wanted to, and I could have made it longer. And I've got 4 San Marzano tomatoes I'm going to be getting in there today, but I need dirt. So I got to go get dirt on the other side of the yard. So you'll recall as well, on this side of the yard, I have these pots of my not completely broken down compost. And inside the pots, there's some tomato weeds. And I've been letting these tomato weeds kind of grow. I call them tomato weeds, guys, because they're everywhere. I've been plucking thousands of them. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take all these tomato weeds out. I'm going to keep them for a little bit, but I'm going to take them out, pot them up, put them in my greenhouse, and then I'm going to use this soil to fill up those beds, and then I'll put my San Marzano tomatoes in there, and I'll give you a look at those as well. So I'm going to pull the tomato weeds up and put them inside these little pots here. That way I can keep them watered. And here's the 4 San Marzano tomatoes that I want to get in there. You can see clearly these guys are definitely ready to get the heck out of the small pots and into the ground. So I'm digging up all my tomato weeds and getting them in a bin, and way down at the bottom of this, not at the bottom, but in here, check this out. A completely buried under a foot of compost, sprouted avocado seed. That's crazy. He was completely buried. So I guess using the cup and water method isn't necessarily needed. We'll try to grow them. Here's how many plants I got. Probably won't grow them all, but we'll give them a shot. Let me get them in the greenhouse, and then I'll get the compost into the raised bed. Tomatoes chillaxing in the greenhouse. Anyway, I also potted up that avocado seed. We got a little water in this bin. I'll let them soak for a little bit, and then I'll drain the water back out. But now let's get that dirt in that raised bed. You can see the compost isn't exactly completely broken down, but that's okay because when I put the dirt on top, it'll be broken down over the next few months anyway. 3 more trips. Well, there you go. Not fully broken down compost. And you know what? I'm probably going to have to add, just so it's easy to grow stuff in, I'll add
a couple of bags of regular garden soil in here because this is fluffed up. By the time I push this down a little bit so that the air pockets are out of it, it's going to be about half as full as this. So a couple of bags, maybe 3 bags of gardening soil. This bed will be ready for my San Marzano tomatoes. I got to get 4 cages anyway, so it's perfect. And there you go. Had to get red tomato cages because that's all they had in stock today. It's a freaking zoo at Lowe's, but why wouldn't it be? It's springtime here in North Texas, and it looks fantastic out. Today's 87 degrees. Last night didn't get colder than 65. So anyway, got the tomatoes in the ground. San Marzano, ready to grow up happy and healthy. Provide me some saucing tomatoes. So they've been hardened off because all these are grown from seed, as you know. They were hardened off in the greenhouse for a few weeks, so they're definitely ready to be out here in the full sun. Looking forward to seeing them grow, put out some flowers, and set some fruits. I guess the last thing I need to do just to ensure that when it does set fruits that the animals don't try to get to them as much, I'll have to put on the rabbit cages again. Score! Look what I found. Last year's panels on my other side of the garden. So pretty close to getting them fit just right. 2 actually went down to here, but I didn't want to put the fence too far from the back so I couldn't reach it. So I just ran it that way. So heck, that works just fine. Yes. All right, everyone, I'm kind of wiped out, so I'm going to stop for the day. I'll give you guys a backyard garden update probably next week. I've got my cucumbers that came up, my green beans finally came up, and the sugar snap peas are holding on for dear life, and some other things have come up as well. So I'll give you a full update next weekend, or at least maybe midweek, because I'm actually going to be out of town next week. So I'll give you an update midweek and show you where I'm at, and then I won't be able to give you any more videos for about 10 days. I apologize, but I'm going to be slammed. So as always, thanks for watching.